Well, good afternoon. Obviously, I didn't make a video yesterday because I was a little under the weather. But I mean, it's not any better today, to be honest. But anyways, got a little frog in my throat, you know what I mean? Um, for SPY, I want to see if we can get into this demand zone. Probably pop up and then reclaim this 562. If not, we're just gonna push up from this 562. I'd be targeting this 566.12, and a break above that would be above the flag. So we hit that 566.12. What I want to see is come down and test this the top end of the flag, and possibly push up to 570. Another thing that could possibly happen is if we come down and we lose this 560 range, we do have a little bit of a space that we could get to. Not really not viable. Maybe this low-ish right here, 556.15, and then down to this 551's demand. So that for the downtrend would be the watch for a break or a loss of 560.17 down to 556.15, or a bounce from, take that off, a bounce from 561.40 up until 566.12. At least that's for SPY. And then for IWM, this is a little bit more clear. I do want to see either a bounce from this 198.33 up back up to this 250, and then a break of the 250 to this 202.63. Just keep in mind, once you get that 202.63, we do have a supply just to come here above it. And then if we lose this 198 though, I would really be open to a 197 demand bounce. Well, that's not demand. That's support. So there's 197 support. But if we lose that 197 support, I mean, do have a demand right here. Let me take this shadow off. So we have a demand right here. I always get my levels from the hourly chart. Sometimes a 4-hour too, but tend to get them off the hourly a lot better. Depending on the individual, that is, depending on the stock. So if we lose this 198, we could watch for either 197 part confluence. So you could, entry 198, stop loss at this 198.33, trim at 197.12, and then exit at 196.20, not 196.19. This is where I'd be looking for a bounce between this 196.19 and 195.88. If not, we were to bounce up from this 198.33 support, break this flag, test this 250, and then retest the breakout before making another move up to 202. And for an individual, I do have AMD. I want to see a reject at this 202.63 to this 103.93 supply. Obviously, I mark today's high, but a supply test and a reject. If not, then we can come down and test this demand at this 198.68 to this, 198 to this 98.68 down to this 98.03. If you're gonna get an entry, it'd be like roughly at this 98.21. But yeah, I would like to see a bounce to that from that demand zone, and then a push up to supply, or a reject from supply, and then a bounce at demand to a push above supply. But that's for AMD. If anybody's still holding Walmart calls, then I mean we're still good so far. As long as we still hold this 99.22, we could still see more of an upside push. But failing then that 99.22, I mean we're gonna look for a downside push back down to maybe this 97.42 ish, 41 ish. But yeah, for individuals for tomorrow, it's a reject from supply, reject from 102.63, 103.39 on AMD, down to 98.68, 98.03, where it bounced from 98.68 to target 102. But I honestly think we're gonna hit that reject and then cater down. IWM, just to recap, this is a bounce or a hold of 198.33 to a push back above the 200 into that 202.63 resistance, or a loss of 198.09 down to for a push down to 197.12 and 196.19 to 195.88. And then for SPY, it's a hold of this 562.65 and a push above 566.12, targeting 570.03, or a reject of 562.65, targeting 561.40 to 560.17 for a bounce, or a fail of 560.17 for a push to 556.15. But yeah, it depends on how pre-market goes. These for tomorrow, I don't remember, but it was, where is it? Let me pull up economic calendar real quick. I don't have this. One thing I don't have. So tomorrow we have U.S. trade deficit at 8:30, which is 1 hour before the bell opens for Central Standard Time. And then on Wednesday we do have FOMC and consumer credit. So keep that in mind. So yep, that will be all I'm watching is SPY, IWM, and AMD for tomorrow's plays, and the continuation on Walmart for the upside. As for today, I did take a trade on SoFi. I mean, we lost that 190, the 1287 in the after hours, which is a pretty bad downside. But I want to see us push higher. This 1287, break that 13. That 13, it was like 13, 14. If I can reject, I can't remember. But I want to see us continue for the upside, targeting this 1397 possibly by the end of the week or going into next week. I did buy contracts. I bought 2 contracts for next week's expiration. And then RGTI, I want to see us hold this 951 and then I push back up. I would be watching for this 1140 for a price target. This would be a trim. I did buy some contracts for that as well. And I'm pretty sure they're like 2 weeks out, if I remember right. I'm not going to check right now. But, yep. So there's that. Let me move this down here. Rocket Lab. But as for anything else, I mean, Google, be okay. Could watch for 164.58 reject. And I'm pushed down to this 162.17 support. Or we lose this 162.17 support and we don't have anything until 158.61. Even this demand zone would be a lot better viability. The demand zone down here would be a better option at this 157.55, 156.94. But I'd be watching for a reject at this 164.58, even down here at 164.84 to this 165.15. We could possibly watch for reject from there too. But that's all I got for you tonight. I hope you guys have a great afternoon or evening. And just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. Any profits or losses acquired during the trading day while using my analysis, I cannot be held liable. Please use your own technical analysis, and please, I recommend that you study and paper trade before getting into the market, because the market can be very volatile and you could lose money within a matter of seconds or minutes. Last thing I like to say is trade safe, trade smart, and chase the dream. This is someone trading from Outcast Traders. Have a good night, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow.